How did you actually get cast on The Bachelorette?
Super random, super random. Playing hockey up here in Canada as we do, and sitting just having drinks with the guys after a game, and one of the only remaining in the group that's single, like not having kids or well on my way to being engaged or whatever after getting out of a long-term relationship. And just knowing the personality that I am, they're like, you would do great on like a dating show or putting yourself out there on a reality show because you don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, what's the chances of me actually getting a Canadian guy? What's the chance of me actually doing any of those and actually getting on it in the first place? That night, I promised I would send in a photo and the first little like paragraph to the application process for the Bachelorette. It's pages long. I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's going to take me an hour to do. I'm not doing it. Sent in just the first little blurb. 3 months went by, I didn't hear it. Then all of a sudden I forgot about it. I heard a call back and then it kind of spun out of control. But I also applied like Naked and Afraid, Survive. Like I wanted to do like cool stuff that's in my realm of like the outdoors and then The Bachelor was the one that ended up calling. And then I just said yes to a crazy opportunity.
So did you have to do any, like interviews, or they saw you and they were like, "Oh, this is the guy," or were you like in a long line of men and then you got picked?
Yeah, I mean, I applied as a contestant of 30 to be pursuing the Bachelorette at the time was going to be Claire Crawley. And
Mm.
so, yeah, there's always a casting process, and I don't know how they go about that on their end, but they ended up choosing us, and it just, yeah, kind of
So
spiraled.
I'm always curious about this. Do you know the girl you're going to be vying for, and that makes a difference, or they just want you to be on the show and you have to decide if you have chemistry there and then?
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of both those things. So most times you have a kind of an inkling as to who it's going to be, right? Because you watch the season prior, you see the three girls that are probably going to be it. And then they also choose you depending on your interest. So they say, hey, it's probably going to be one of these three girls. Who do you really like? And so depending,
Got
because
it.
they people are dedicated to the lead. So they'll also cast based on that. For my
Right.
instance, I ended up knowing it was going to be Claire because we in my hotel room waiting. She was announced before I was going to go on, but the COVID shut everything down. So I had to go home the day of. So I then knew for 3 months who it was going to be. And so my instance was a little bit different than most.
Right. Were you able to contact her on social media or anything in those 3 months?
I did. Yeah. It was that became a whole thing on the show on the night one because I was the only one that did that and I wasn't supposed to do that. And there was a whole thing to that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Now explain to me when you're on The Bachelorette or The Bachelor or whatever it is about chemistry. Like, I mean, listen, I am a female. I've been dating forever. I used to run nightclubs in Las Vegas where you had at least 5,000 people coming into the room every night. And I was the one woman who you had to know or you couldn't get into the club. So I knew every man for 5 years in a row. And I would always joke about how hard it was to find someone that you have chemistry with, that you really like, that the timing is right. So isn't that really hard?
Certainly. But I think the thing is when you're all of a sudden going on this big show and you're selected for it, and you have this bachelorette that's chosen, like she has to be like this. You're kind of in this mindset of like, if she's chosen to be the bachelorette, she's got to be a catch, right? And so
Yeah.
you really try to like, she's this queen. They're like, oh my, I need her. Like you, and you're kind of, you're not, you self teach yourself that like this is someone I need, and it's you force yourself through trying to build that chemistry, and then obviously you see that she just is like no, 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 no.
Right.
But you try to you kind of believe in this yourself and the process of like the fantasy of it all.
Yeah, of course. So I'm curious, when you decided to go on, I mean, I heard the story of what you just said while you were sitting with the guys playing hockey, but do you think that you felt like you wanted to go on it because you wanted to find love and that was a possibility for you? Or were you like, I'm not dumb. This is a great platform and I'm really into conservation and animals and wildlife, and this could be really great for my cause?
Well, at the time I didn't have a call, like I didn't have anything wildlife related. There was no understanding of what I was going to be able to do
Got it.
until it happened. Because then when I started advocating for it, then I was seeing fundraising petitions. I'm like, holy shit, there's something to be done here with a
Yeah.
voice. But it didn't come till after. It was almost impossible to predict that the impact I could have made until after the fact. And even then you would have had to do well or be likable enough for that to happen. But I
Yeah.
went on for the experience originally because I didn't know who it was going to be. Go to do a crazy experience, but if you're not open to actually falling and connecting and trying to see that through, you usually go home pretty early.